little things. Something that's sending me, just send lunch. It just, this.
But before we need to discuss, sorry, let's deviate a little bit.
I'm not deviating. God, I just said deviate.
Yes.
I'm not deviating. I'm not deviating. Boma, remember, kids are listening to your show. We don't want them speaking bad English when they're done.
Digress.
I'm not digressing.
Leave me.
We have to.
Why do you have so many males? So much do you good? You are single. Only like a flowing over shore of river. What the problem now? I'm what?
That was a break in transmission.
There's no break. You will have it because the word have helped me ask her in comment. And so it begins. I finally watched that.
What's your receipt?
Shit, man. It's not when we are doing video. Shebi is audio now. I can fake it till I make it. But this one, they're gonna be kilo day.
Recording has started.
And then come as you are, boldly.
Before we started recording, Boma said, this episode, I think I'm just going to be
I wasn't doing any of that.
That's what you did.
My body wasn't.
I'm the one that saw you. I'm good. And I was asking, how does that even look like? A pass. She couldn't even hold it down. So we know, you and I know that. It's normal.
Like I said, this season, I'm going to be doing a lot of ignoring you because that's what you deserve. Ignoring you. Because, yeah. Anyways. Anyways.
I'm about to say, thank God you're the one that pressed it over yourself.
Anyways, again. I really emotional today, people. Yes, the topic we're talking about.
Why are you so dramatic?
I'm not being dramatic. This is me trying to evade emotion.
Okay. Whilst you're evading emotion, because of that evasion,
you are insensitive to my feelings. And I'm not sure how I feel about you as my partner being insensitive to my feelings. Acknowledge my feelings.
I'm sorry.
As truth.
I'm sorry.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry. I may not understand why you feel
you
the way
don't.
You feel, but I sympathize.
And you're judgmental. You're judgmentaling me.
See, guys, welcome to today's episode. I really don't know what's going on. I don't know that it's the camera. I know there's something about when you are in the studio that just makes you feel like a celebrity.
P.S. guys, Kofa was thinking of being in the media, but when we're about to start, Kofoworola cannot turn head of headphone. Yes, your media girl in the mud. Moving on.
And that's why I like what I'm about to ask you.
Kofa, please be nice to me on this episode. I'm going through
a lot. Are you coming from a lot? Or you're in a lot?
Like, I'm going.
We are all going through it. If you're in Nigeria, we're all going through it.
No, please.
Yeah, okay. Let's be serious now. Let's be serious. See, our face is online. Please, let's be serious. Okay, so today we're just talking about friendships. Right. And so there's this question I always ask a lot of people, or ask myself specifically, and I thought that it would be nice to ask you. So simply, do you think you've been a good and intentional friend?
Ew, why don't I get to ask you that question? Why do you get to ask me?
Let me get the question right. Now me say I have question to ask you.
Do I think I've been a good and intentional friend? Right now?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think that I've done better in the past than I've been doing lately. In terms of like keeping up, reaching out. I feel like I had a hand, or what I say, I had a handle of my life for the longest time. So I was used to how I would normally do things because it was maybe two things I was doing. There wasn't so much. So I had a hang on my timing, my days, my weeks. I knew, this week I'm going to see this friend. I'm going to call this person. I'll put timers. So it was hard then, but it seemed pretty easy because I'd found a method around it. But this year, I feel like, scratch that. I know that I definitely entered some of the busiest moments of my life where it feels like, because for somebody like me, I'm multi-talented and I do diverse things. And that's not even to show off. No, it's not.
We know.
Again, I will ignore you. Because that you're deserving of it. You are deserving. I move on. So, it's a case of now I'm doing all of these things. You know, media is pulling at this end because it's already a normal 8 to 5 job. And it's almost like I can't catch my breath. You know how you were saying when we started Boma, you need a PA, you need an organizer. I say, what I need is somebody, taskmaster. That's what I need. Somebody to literally do. So no, I wouldn't say that I've been the greatest friend, but I would say that to the friendships that I've been able to keep up with, I've definitely put my best foot forward. So for me, I have different categories of friends.
Okay.
Right. Yeah,
all right. So
I say these are. What is the interview? You want to ask
no. I was gonna say hold that thought, right? Because the next question is just plain and simple, right? And again, these are things I do for myself.
Nothing with you is plain and simple.
No, I'm serious. And I was just gonna ask you. So, if you, based on what you said now, if you're going to, gauge yourself on the friendship scorecard, what will you from 0 to 100?
I need to know what are the intricacies in which I'm using to scale myself? Is it in terms of communication, or in being there for them? Like, what would it be?
So let's not be. I know you are very, very intellectual. And behold, you want to hear parameters, but you've said it by yourself. When we started that, you don't think you've been like as much
as present.
Yeah. So just generally, like if you ask yourself, have you been? And it's just up to you. You can decide the parameter you want. What do you think you've been? So on the scorecard, 0 to 100.
0 being what? Lowest.
0 being nothing now. You want to talk about 0.
So 10 is the highest then.
Yeah, I said 100, but you can use 10.
100, okay. Let me use 10 just so that.
Okay.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, Boma, how great of a friend have you been? Let me just consider some. I'll give myself, honesty. And I'm saying this so people understand. So I'm very. When we started, I said this is a triggering topic for me. So a lot of people, I think, first of all, don't understand friendship or don't see friendship on the scale I do. Whenever I discuss friendship with people, it's almost like, oh, is it that deep? Every time I talk to people about friendship, it's almost like, Boma is not marriage now. Boma is not covenant now. But that's how friendship is to me. So the people, if I'm going to let you into my life, I'm basically putting my life and destiny in your hands and I'm trusting you with it. So it's deep for me. I don't know how to do shallow stuff. I'm either there or I'm not there. I don't know how to do in between, all those hello highs, Instagram. I don't have those because if we're gonna really do friendship, we will do the hard and dirty part. So if I was going to weigh myself on that same scale that I expect, I would give myself a 4.
That's below average.
Yes, it's below average because I feel like we've been talking, but we've not been talking.
I understand.
Do you understand?
I understand.
Chit chats, WhatsApp status,
like
Instagram.
So, we don't really know.
We've not. Yes. If I were to be asked right now, my closest friends, if I was to be asked what's going on in their lives,
you can't really
right now. Yeah. It's not even that I can't really. I don't know. I would be guessing based on what I know of them, but it's not because
based on past experience, not what's happening now.
Thank you. It's not current. That's why I said I'll give myself a 4 to be honest.
So just in response to that, I'll just say don't be too hard on yourself.
Oh no. I give myself grace.
Exactly.
Because I'm not that's why I said I'm not a bad friend because I have history. And history will prove that I'm a show-up person.
And I agree.
Like I'm bankable. So if I'm not now, yes, because I expect it. So I do carry my weight and pull my weight. So if I'm not now, and that's why they're not, like my friends are not hard on me.
Yes.
If anything, they are now coming up higher. Like normally you're the one that would do this. So they're meeting me halfway. And I'm very grateful for that.
So let me just also respond to that.
But I want to hear from you.
No, that's what I was just trying to say. Like
on a scale of 1 to 10.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
Right now.
I think I'll give myself a 6.
Aye, nice.
No, I don't think it's high enough because there's definitely so much room for improvement.
Yeah.
But I'll say, just saying honestly, I don't know if my friends will agree or disagree, but personally, I don't think I'm such an amazing friend as such. Yeah, I do things, but so how will I explain it? So one of my love languages, which also extends to my friendship love language, is gifting.
Oh, right? Yes.
So that's
Hallelujah,
also
people.
That's also the way I try to be there for my friends, right? That's the way I try to be there for my friends, right? But I feel like there's so much more to just that aspect of friendship. I want to be able to show up for you. I want to be able to maybe come to your house and celebrate with you. I do that, but I don't think I do that enough. And this year, and I think it's a general thing with 2020, because we're moving post the COVID, right? So everyone's trying to catch up with things we couldn't do during COVID period. So I keep saying that this year has been the busiest I have been in my 20-something years of existence, and it's been crazy. And it's been so bad that one day I realized that I don't even know if I know any of my friends anymore. Like, what's going on? And I woke up because I can be very extra. My friends say I'm extra. And I just sat down like, I'm not spoken to.
You can't be very, you are extra.
I stand by the word that I used. So like, you know what? I just spoken to A, B, C, D in a while. I don't know what's going on with you. So do you know what I did? Mm-hmm. I sat down and I set up a Calendly. And I just created a broadcast list of all my friends. I sent them a message. I was like, oh, hi guys. I know that, adulthood has just been, has everyone on chokehold. Everyone is busy. Most of my friends have jackpot. So there's even a time difference. There's just so many things. And I'm like, you know what? Book an appointment on my calendar and let's talk. And it might look weird, like, why do your friends need to book? And guess what? These friends, I know it's not as if I don't talk to them, but it was just surface level. Hi, how are you? Like, I feel like,
and it makes you feel like you are talking to them.
But we're not talking to them. And trust me, these few sessions I've had have been amazing because, first of all, I made sure that every of the conversations were video calls.
Mado.
Yes. I told all of them, I'm not the audio. I will see you as you are. If you are your pants and bra, open that video call.
Why you gotta be so visual?
I'm just saying. Or if you're looking like you're not looking present, just open that video call. And they say just to me things, and I felt so ashamed. Like, oh my God, how could I not know this about this person? Like, how is this person going through like some amazing periods of their lives, or for some people, some really trying periods? And I didn't know. And that's when I realized that, Kofi, I don't think you've been such an amazing friend like that. To the outside world, surface level, it feels like, oh my God, but I don't have a lot of friends, so I don't think there's really an excuse not to be as present. But I also like the fact that a lot of them to understand, and they also, they're kind enough to extend graces because
I think the tagline would be extend grace.
Yes, I think that.
And I also want to go to the flip side. I think you extend grace based on history. So there's something I normally tell my babies. I tell them, when I say calm down, now,
even Daddy had to look like you.
Oh my goodness. When I say my baby is like teenagers that are around me, that I maybe talk to or teach, or just people around me that I baby. Stephanie. Go coin. Like consignment you. As I was saying before, I was interrupted by Kay. Right. So what I always tell people is, always trust the heart of people around you that you have history with. Because sometimes they'll fall short. It doesn't mean they're falling short of who they are. Mm-hmm. I can be somebody else in a season that doesn't make you recognize me anymore. So watch my heart much more than my actions, because I might also even be navigating my actions. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how it's doing me. I'm just trying so hard, because when I'm saying, I beg, moving on, cutting off, we're so fast to do all of those things. Wait till you have the same opportunities and your, life is happening to you. You're getting busy with work, career, maybe talent, business, different things are coming for you.
Or even in different phases
of our lives. And it's okay. And I think another thing is being able, it's okay, because there was, scratch that. There were moments of my life before this year, almost all of the moments of my life before this year, where all my friends were moving and it felt like I was stagnant.
I understand that.
You know that very well more than anybody, because I wasn't doing, in the sense of doing in terms of world and all of that. I was doing, but because I wasn't in one
flashing,
it didn't feel like I was there. So I was the one that would literally go to the houses. But some friends say they don't come to my houses either. They will come maybe once. I'll be the one that will go 4 times, because I had the luxury of time, and they didn't. They would go to work morning to evening and come back. Me, I'm in my house. I'm not doing anything. Maybe I go to markets, come back, pack my orders, for my business and all that. But I had the control of time. They didn't, because they were servicing somebody's business. So I would literally go and see them. Sometimes I'll pack a night bag, go and spend the weekend at theirs. It was so bad that sometimes I'll take off time from my church and follow them, just so they know that you are important to me and it matters to me, such that even their mothers, those who stay with their families, would know me and know that, okay, this one is my child's friend. So it's not that time for you to now be forming, they've left me because they're all working in oil company and they're doing 9 to 5 and me, I'm doing business. We're not on the same level. It's not by that. Don't be that person and don't let the world tell you a lie. So trust the hearts of your friends, and it's okay for them to be in a different season where they're thriving and you're not thriving on the same level. It's not that you're not thriving on the same level, because success is not rated by how much we're doing, but how much we're doing in the pace we're doing it. I think that's very important.
Something just to add, when you said that success, another thing that said that it's by how much we are being.
Right.
I just remember something I read on Twitter just 2 days ago, and someone was like, "Oh,
you're sending me these things you have."
And someone was talking about like, the killers of friendships in this generation, and someone said jealousy, envy, and I think I remember vividly jealousy and envy, and that just tied to what you're saying. Like, you have to understand that we're not going to move at the same pace. Even when we were in university, right from secondary school, some of us entered university faster than other people.
Yes.
And, some of us got jobs earlier than other people. And that's not the time to be spiteful to your friends. Yes, because you're in certain stages in life, your circle might expand. Right? But you shouldn't forget people that have been grinding with you from the beginning. Right? So that's something you said. And that thing I was going to say, and now I've forgotten, and it's something you mentioned. And I'm trying to remember by rambling. I'm like, Holy Spirit, remind me.
You remember. I trust you. But I also wanted to quickly chip in that another thing that is very important. Sweetie, I told you. The moment I started, you remember. Another thing that is very important to me in friendships is people must begin to see friendships as relationships.
Oh yes, I totally agree.
And I have this saying: if you can hack friendship, you can never fail marriage. In my opinion, if you can hack friendship, because let me tell you,
debatable, but I get what you're saying.
Let me tell you where I'm coming from. Friendship requires a level of self. See, Kofo, I'm telling you that if you do friendship,
the way it should be done.
The way it should be done.
God's way.
Not the way we do it. When I say friendship, in terms of like communication, accountability, openness, being present, vulnerability, dealing with weaknesses. Like having hard conversations. I know a lot of friendships where the moment a hard conversation comes up, that's the end of that friendship.
I agree.
You switch to your other friends. You don't talk to that particular lady again because she's the truth sayer. Being able to accommodate ourselves and our excesses. So I like to go to parties, but I'm an introvert. I don't like to go to parties. Creating balance. You know what it means for me to come out of my comfort zone and accommodate you. Go to parties maybe every now and then with you because that's your love language. We're getting there. And sometimes you used to stay indoors and watch a Netflix movie with me on the couch. Even if that's not your thing.
I agree.
So I don't think that you find it difficult to not accommodate a man's excesses if he doesn't like what you like, or you have to, in terms of adjusting, because if you sit down and think about most of the reasons we see that marriages don't work, it's also about adjustment. He likes something
commitment
I don't like, and we can't just seem to find a balance or a way because I just can't take it.
But piggybacking on what you just said now, I think that...
Don't forget the other thing you wanted to say.
Thank you. What you just said right now, I even think that a lot of us extend graces...
Pause. Piggybanking.
I'm trying to be civil. It made me forget now.
Don't forget.
So I think a lot of us even extend more graces in our relationships than we do in our friendships.
Aye, Captain. Thank you.
And it's upsetting, right? So you see someone does something to you. I'm like, you look for 1,000,001 excuses, but your friend does the same or even less. And you're like, cancelled.
Yeah.
This cancel culture is now prevalent, and with any small thing, cancel. Like, guys, like, what happened to our humanity, right? And that's what, and that goes back, pardon me, to extending graces to people. And like when you said trust the heart, so another thing I'll say is trust the pattern.
Right.
Trust the pattern and not
look out for patterns.
Look out for patterns. So if I so for instance now, if you tell me that you cut off a friend because she kept repeating something that you repeatedly told her that upsets you, that's understandable. Yeah. But not just a one of like, you know what, I beg. I'm like, no now, guy.
Especially when you've never had a conversation. You're cutting me off over something you've not talked to me about.
Guy.
So now you are ghosting. Like, there's ghosting in friendship too.
Definitely.
Like, I don't know what happened. We just faded out.
Definitely.
How?
And I think another thing is, so what I was saying before was also talking about, which you mentioned, our different phases in life and where we are. So we're at that stage where, so when we're in university, it's so easy because we're all in that want to read book and pass. Then we finish. Some people's next goal is I want to go for my master's. Some people's next goals are, I want to get a job. The life started changing. Even the kind of work we're doing started changing. Some people working like civil service.
Some people were still figuring out what they
wanted to do. But right now, we're now getting to the stages where our friends have kids. Our friends are married. So I have a friend, right? I won't mention a name. But if we have she lives in like on the island, far on the island. If she says she can't come for an event on the mainland, I understand because she's not thinking for herself anymore. She's thinking, oh my God, okay, if I have to come, I have to my son with someone. Like she has to create contingencies just to be able to show up. So the days she's able to show up, it's like
a big deal.
It's a big deal because she knows that she had to sacrifice a lot. So for that kind of person, I don't mind being the one to meet you halfway because I'm more flexible.
Pause right there. Meet you halfway. I like that you said halfway because some people don't pull any weight at all. It's almost like I'm married, I have children, get used to it. Because you're not married, understand totally. No. I'm not moving at all.
See, sometimes you got some people that will call their husband, see, your wife is not coming home.
Honestly.
Your wife is not coming home.
And that's a level of friendship. Do you understand that you've built that can allow you to do that? And also a level of friendship.
Your husband knows us.
Exactly.
You know me.
Thank you.
And you know that I'm not teaching your wife bad thing.
So it's a case of your friend also has created a level of importance to her husband of you.
That is profound.
That's why you'd be able to do that because he knows that Kofo is important.
Exactly.
She's special. She's not just any friend. And she showed, like she's been there for me in so many ways. So if I have to show for Kofo every now and then, Ogasa, you have to allow me to show up.
And you know the thing is, again, like you said, friendship is not a parasitic relationship. Then it means that somebody is being a user, and nobody wants users in their life.
Nobody.
People want people that add value. Yes. And I think another problem in this generation is we quantify value by material things. Right. So I say that
I buy you sweet. Okay? Remind me, I owe you tom-tom. Shall I tom-tom? I be splash.
Please get that.
Like people. Which one do you like? My time now. People.
Let's not advertise anybody. I'll tell you in camera.
Tell me in camera. Sorry, not advertise anybody.
I'll tell you in camera. So what's I going to say now?
Materialistic.
Yeah, materialistic. And you know, I said that my love language is gifts.
Yeah.
But if you know me very well, you know that I'm not about the magnitude of the gifts you give me.
Yeah.
I can faint if I see how thoughtful you are.
Yeah.
And you know, gifting to me,
gifting your presence can also be a gift.
Exactly. You know, and that's what people miss, right? You know, just knowing there's one of my amazing friends, like he's a guy, and it does some of the very, very it's not that, that's not like that. It does one of the most amazing little things. Something that's sending me, just send lunch.
Before we need to discuss. Sorry, let's deviate a little bit.
I'm not deviating. I just said deviate.
Yes.
I'm not deviating. Boma, remember, kids are listening to your show. We don't want them speaking bad English when they're done.
Digress.
I'm not digressing.
Leave me.
We have to
why do you have so many males so much? Do you good? You are single. Only like a flowing over shore of river. What the problem now?
I'm what? That was a breaking transmission.
There's no break. You will have it because the one that helped me ask her in comment section. All the male friends giving you
let me tell you why I'm single. It's just in a nutshell. If people I like don't like me, the ones that like me, I don't like them. Finish. That's it.
We are going to Odo. We'll go to Babisha and pray for you.
And so tell God to bring the one that's it's a symbiotic. I like them, they like me. I like you, I like you. If you like, Boma, you also carry us to where we're not going. You want to carry me to where I don't know. I'm not going. So I have another thing I want us to talk about, right?
But you're talking about how your friend actually does like thoughtful stuff.
No, yes.
And I like that. I made a joke out of it, but I like that this is somebody that's just your friend. It's platonic. There's nothing to it. He's male.
I don't know. I just mentioned him as an example.
But that's also another angle of friendship that I also wanted to talk about. Like, I can have meaningful friendships with the opposite sex.
We're going to talk about that.
Yeah, we are. Just wanted to
but not today's topic.
No, not today, dear.
But just before so I have something else I think I want to talk about really quick that I think is very important. But, it's going to be nice for us to keep talking. If you don't, give,
something?
Honor to honor you. And those are the people that, made or that God used to make today's episode important. So our sponsor for today's episode is a very dear friend of mine. And I don't even know why I should have been wearing, because she's a fashion, not a tailor, she's not a fashion designer. Passion. Passion designer.
She designs passion for a living.
She's a fashion designer, right? And her business is Lizzie Closets or Lizzie's Closet NG. I mean, I don't understand English.
What
Lizzie's Closet NG, right? It's a fashion brand that produces quality designs made in Nigeria. Hey, emphatic stress of made in Nigeria.
Sweet
and
stuff.
One thing that I really think the fashion, just to digress a little bit, apart from our music export, I think our fashion is another what's it called, industry that is really, 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 really doing well.
Oh yeah.
We won't talk about the other ones, but you're really, really doing well.
It's gaining momentum.
So Lizzie's Closet NG, they create, simple, classy, and elegant designs for women.
Yeah.
I have tried,
tested, and trusted.
I promise you, value for money.
Hey.
Good value for money.
Sweet.
Bespoke designs. Flatters your shape on everything. And this is the thing. I tell people I really don't know how to sell something I have not used.
Right.
As such. So I'm able to say this because, and there's no time I wear a piece I don't get complimented.
Right.
Even my mom that is very, finicky about things like that. She's like, this cloth is, quality. So Lizzie's Closet NG, you can follow them on Instagram at Lizzie, LIZZIESCLO.
Don't worry, we'll put all
the let me finish spelling it. CLOSETNG. We'll put it in the description box below. Yeah. So please follow them, bombard them with your life.
There, just go and be like, "Hi from Flow with KB." Just go there so that she will know that it's from the podcast.
Yeah, I should know that person that sent you. Backing.
That's time.
Again, I cannot guarantee that I will do anything by discount or whatever.
Go there first. Oh, you have little faith. Go there first. How do you know? First go. You don't know what can happen.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So thanks for that.
So thank you so much, Lizzie, for sponsoring this episode. We love you so much, and I can't wait to rock a piece. I mean, if Kofo is shining in it, I deserve one too. So I'm gonna be coming to you, real soon.
Please
now come and wear it on one of these episodes, safe.
Yes, you should.
That being said,
you should.
Maybe we should even do like a Lizzie twin. Just wear a Lizzie outfit.
Lizzie, baby, look.
Don't do it. Stop yourself. Cut. Stop. Back to the podcast topic. Next on the agenda.
So next thing I want to talk about, and I think this is the part where you don't like, that might be uncomfortable for you, but it's something called friendship breakfast. All right. So the way we did chop breakfast for relationship, we did chop breakfast for friendships. Why are you looking confused, Stanley? You never seen friendship breakfast before?
The question you're asking is how many friends you have.
I will not have that.
Come on.
I will not have that. I'm defending you. But yeah, so I know we're very aware of relationship breakfast. That's why Bonner Boy last breakfast. Everybody is chopping.
That's not what they sing.
The idea is needed. You get what I'm trying to say. But the truth is, I think friendship, we don't talk about friendship breakfasts enough. So,
and in my opinion, they're more painful than...
No, they are more painful because what you find is you cannot... So you've been in a relationship with someone, even if you've been in a relationship with someone for 10 years, it is not as much as someone that you've been friends since you were kids. So I'm 20-something... my idea. I'm 27 years old today. And so imagine I've had a friendship that has spanned over 20 years and I've only dated someone for like a year and we break up. It's not the same thing. You guys, your family knows your family. You've been through every phase in their life. You follow primary school, secondary school, wins together. You've cried together. So just realizing that, and the most painful part is there's a gist and you always try to call them. Then the day you guys, end the friendship, like, Boma will like this gist, I'm like, oh shoot, Boma and I are not cool anymore. It's like,
don't be using you and I.
No, now.
Okay. I don't like that. Is problematic. Stop now.
See,
you and I cool.
T and I are not cool anymore. It's just like, oh my God,
we'll not see them.
And I'm talking to you. I'm remembering one, and I'm feeling so emotional. I don't know why. I'm actually feeling.
Maybe let's focus on you today and your emotions.
No, I'm not.
We'll get back to me
because I'm actually
you're
teary.
already in the moment. So just it's okay.
Okay, no, I'm not going to do this
for you.
But I'm being teary.
Yes.
I'm being teary. Stop it! No, don't put remove the camera from my eye.
Never.
Let's move it to Boma.
Let's do this.
But yes, it's really painful, right? Because I think another painful part is the fact that you guys are not cool anymore, but you're following them on social media. You're seeing them move to. Oh God, I can't believe this. I didn't think I was going to be crying. You're seeing them move to different phases in life, right? And you want to be there for them. You want to, but and I think another painful one is one that people did not fight. People did not quarrel.
Give me a second to stand. Bring that basket. I want to pay you offering.
You know what you're owing me, sweet offering at Mark Bagwell.
You need to stop.
But where's your tissue?
Okay, all right. Give me.
People did not fight. People did not quarrel.
Sorry.
You guys life just happened.
I hate that nonsense about it faded out. What faded? Who used the razor to clean it?
No, so again, and that's the thing. No, and if you trace it back, right? Personally, I think everything still boils down to intentionality. One of you stopped being intentional about that friendship. One of you stopped being, and that's the truth. One of you stopped being intentional because
sometimes it's because one of you got selfish.
No, that's part of it.
Sorry,
it's not me. But that's part of it. Somebody stopped pulling their weight. Somebody stopped pulling their weight, and it's painful because if it were a normal relationship, we'll see how much you do.
Let me tell you why it's worse. When a man breaks your heart, it's your friends that are there for you. When a friend breaks your heart, who am I supposed to run to? Because I normally run into your arms as my friends, and you guys would, the first thing, yes, he's not serious. How they do that to you? That gives you a certain level of upliftment, and there's somewhere to run to and hide, So what then happens when you don't have that any longer? And I don't even know how we're going to talk about this.
I'm done. I moved it to you. You almost cried. No. Go ahead. Actually, share your.
No, there's nothing to share. I don't have any.
Mama, I don't get it. Before now, share. I
think that we should round off this episode.
Mama, you have chopped friendship breakfast. Yes or yes?
What, it's supposed to be yes or no?
Yes or yes? Be sincere. I'm hoping that these friends are watching, and I'm not going to say that. Okay, so this is not even me saying I've been perfect. I've probably also served someone friendship breakfast, knowingly or unknowingly.
Talk about friendship, love languages. That's very important.
No, we'll talk about it another time.
Sweet stuff, great.
Yes. So, but you just share one. So
that's to tell you that you gotta watch out for all the episodes. Because
Boma, you are deflecting.
I'm deflecting.
Tell the audience. Explain one, and I'm here. You brought out tissue, so I'll just be.
I don't need your bloody tissue.
So just explain. So just very quickly, summarize what happened, and what do you think could have been better.
Yes, I'm gonna say 3 things. First of all, if you're not careful, friendships would define your life in a negative way. And what I mean by that is, it would push you down a rabbit hole into an identity that is not yours, and you'd become somebody that you didn't mean to become simply because you were trying to not be who was hurt or who was damaged or who that thing was done to. So I was coming from a place where I was very innocent, very sweet, very kind. I never chop, life, no slap me left and right. And I come from a house where my dad is like my G, my guy, my friend. My mom, pretty stern, but also very dramatic, and she doesn't even know. So there's a lot of love around me growing up, and I grew up around a lot of people. So imagine having all of these friends that you grew up with. People that would sleep on my bed, eat with me. Basically, they were like life partners. That's the best way I can describe it to show you the magnitude of who these people were. And what had happened was, something was happening in a season in my life where, oh dear Jesus. Ooh la 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 la, help me Lord. This is supposed to be such a chilled episode. What's all this about? Yeah, ooh yeah. Okay. So I was going through something in my life at that time where I was experiencing changes that I didn't understand. That's the best way I can put it.
It's not puberty.
No, it wasn't. It was puberty plus many other things, right? Physically, mentally. I was growing up, and when you're growing up, so many things are happening at once that even you yourself, you don't know what's up. You're literally trying to figure it out. And your friends are supposed to be the ones to say, talk you into it, or at least go through it together, even if you don't understand it. But what these people did was, there were people who didn't understand it, and so they started basically shaming me, bullying me, a lot of stuff. And I remember like 3 integral moments. So a friend of mine was in the hostel because I went to boarding house. And I'm not going to mention school names or whatever. And I remember food spoiled in the cooler. And I came back in the night after prep. I literally would be scared to enter my hall until like it's lights out. So I'll sit outside on like gravel, just waiting. And food spoiled in the cooler. And what they did was they took that, it was rice and beans. I'd never forget. Stew. Yeah, and they poured it on my bed. So I entered the room and as I went to my bed and I saw it, everybody started laughing. And I didn't understand why anybody would have done that. And I just started crying. And I remember walking out. And I remember my friend stood there at the door and was having a good, not just laughter, a good hearty laugh. Right? And it was so bad. Summary, it was so bad that it extended to my parents. Because they went home and said stuff to their parents. And their parents started staying away from my parents. And, you know, my mom was called to school and told some things. And I'm grateful for my mother. I'm great. That woman was spoiler in this life on God. I'm grateful for my mother. God. Yeah, because
it deep.
Yeah, it hit like. I don't know where I would be if she didn't take the steps she took. So it was a case of my mom was like, you know what? That's my child, but that version you're selling to me is not my child. That's not my child's identity. That's not who I brought here. So I became quiet because I wasn't sleeping in the night out of fear. I'd be sleeping in class. It became you're possessed. Something, you have mental issues. It was a whole lot of things. Teachers started believing it. So when I'm not in their class, they'll be like, it's fine. If I'm sitting in front of them, it's good. It was a lot. Like it progressed from friends to teachers. And what I'm saying is my friends could have stopped it from happening, but they were at the forefront of it. They were the ones carrying. Do you understand? That's my point. But they were, right? And in their minds, they were doing what was best for me. Yeah. You know, so that was the first breakfast I ever chopped. And it was in my growing up stages. This was like secondary school, early secondary school stages. Now when I chopped this part. So what happened was I took that hurt and pain and I was like, never again would I be spoken to like this. By the time they changed my school, I was like, never again. So I had this defense and fight up such that when I got to an environment where there were people who would love me, it was hard to take in love.
Please.
Do you understand? Like, I beg, before you come and now show me your color, I'm ready, you know. So that's where this whole, everybody say, when you're so confident, I literally had to build up myself because it was a case of, you only have yourself, Boma. If you don't become this strong person, the world will always put you down. Now, the earliest breakfast week I can't shop, where reasons, you know, to save for back. I'm not sure that I can talk about that one right now, to be honest with you. Maybe someday soon during the podcast, I'd have the courage to, because I feel like if I enter it, I will honestly break down because I'm still.
That's what we want.
I'm still in the process there.
Yeah, still here.
So yeah, not just healing. I'm still navigating some of the
things,
intricacies of it, talking about it. There is a lot of things going on, but I'm telling you that breakfasts from friendships, they hurt way, way deeper than, you know, because the pain I'm feeling now and this level of like, this is not supposed to have happened to me again. I don't feel that with breakfast from Manu, where I even think I want to marry. Do you understand? It was hurtful, it was painful, but it didn't have a chokehold on my heart and my life like this in a way that makes you. So with friendships, the problem is you question everything. What was real? That whole time we were together, was it me? Could I have done better? All that time, was she faking it to me? When she said I love you, was it because she wanted to get something from me? Like, you question everything, which is bad because you now go about questioning other friendships in your life and you're looking for things that are not missing. If you're not careful, it would extend to the real friendships that you still have in your corner and the leakages will start. Do you understand?
Trickles down.
Yeah,
it's a ripple effect.
Thank you very much.
Effect.
So it now takes a lot to tell yourself that these people are not that person.
Yeah.
And it's a constant reminder that you have to keep telling yourself that they are not her. They are not her. And every time they maybe do something that you would normally have let go, you hold on to it so tightly and be like, she's about to serve me breakfast. So it really can damage a lot of stuff with you if, you know, you don't walk through it, basically.
And I think that's where the part where you said that, you know, look at the pattern would sort of help.
Oh, yeah.
So I was just going to say, like, to our listeners that, you know, again, it's not a radio. The radio, you're about to say radio is asoromagbesi, duck, no response. Our own is not like that. We want to hear your stories as well. Like, you know, have you experienced friendship heartbreak? What happened? How did you, so beyond what happened, how did you grow grow through it?
I love that question. You asked me a question. We'll come back to
Okay.
that.
So how did you grow through it? What did you do? How did that affect subsequent friendships?
Yeah.
How are you still dealing with it till today? Because, as adults, we're very used to jump and pass.
Yeah.
I'm very guilty of that. Okay, that happened. Moving on to the next. We don't walk through our traumas. And the thing is, if you don't walk through your traumas today, it's waiting for you in front.
Oh, yeah.
So how did you navigate that? I'm really interested. I'm genuinely interested for myself.
Yes, I want to learn.
I want to learn, and you don't know whether the next person can learn one or two things from you as well. Just like you learn from us, and we share certain things. So please, send us a DM on any of our social media platforms, or even put it in the comment section, and let us know. Have you eaten friendship breakfast before? Was it sweet? I'm just joking. I was trying to make light of the breakfast, but I understand how hurtful that can be. So you want to say something?
Yeah, so you asked a question about what do I think I could have done better?
Okay.
Yeah. The first thing is communication.
That's a major killer.
So, for example, I have a friend who believes in communication per second. I believe in Timothy Sheton. Like, when I'm done, I'll communicate. And I didn't think it was a big deal, but for her, it's like a gigantic deal. Almost driving me crazy, because I'm like, you're making a big deal of nothing. So that's another lesson I've learned in friendship. Never make light of what seems super important to somebody, to your friend.
That's
Never
perfect.
ever make light of it. You don't have to understand it, but respect it.
Spot on. Please.
You don't have to. It's a key point.
Pin it. Put it in a pin.
You don't have to understand it, but respect it. And if that's how that person wants to be understood, or that's what that person wants,
please
then deal with them in that manner.
And I think this will be very, very, instrumental when we're talking about friendship, love languages. We really need to talk about that topic. We really need to talk about that topic.
It's like a dire need. And I love that we talked about this first before we get there. So that's more like a part of like the solutions and things to be done in friendship.
I agree. So as we're winding now, today's, I feel like a glass of wine would have been nice. Anyways, as we're winding down on today,
bougie.
I am bougie. Please, you guys, ignore anything I'm doing today, right? Just, I see, I almost cried for you people.
It's not because of them you cried there.
But yeah, just winding down today, right? Something came to my mind as we were talking about this friendship. And so beyond, the friendship breakfast and everything, is also going back to examining yourself. In what way? I asked Boma at the beginning, have you been an intentional friend?
Be honest with you.
Have a friendship whatever review. These are things I do for myself. Have a friendship review. See, I'm very extra. Let me another extra thing I did. Sometime last year, I created a Google form. I sent it to all my friends, asking about, have I been a good friend to you? How can I be better to you? And some of the feedback, I'm like, okay, it took, but it was good. It's necessary. If your friends can't tell you the hard truths, then who should tell you your friends? Who should tell you the hard truths? So you might not be as extra as I am, right? But if there's you have a friendship that is on the brink of a breakup, before you just take that next steps, please just take a step back and examine, what can I do better? How can we make this work? And then satisfy. So I'm at a stage in life where I'm telling myself, I want to satisfy myself that I did everything I could have done before letting go.
Yes.
And that's what I'm applying to every aspect of my life, including friendship.
Because then there's no regret.
Exactly.
It doesn't come back to bite you in the ass.
Exactly. So if you're listening to us and maybe you let that push, or that voice at the back of your ear, this is it, saying,
do it.
Go back. XYZ, we need to talk.
Yeah.
BTS, we need to talk. I'm just conjuring different letters.
Yeah.
We need to talk, right? I don't like where our friendship is at. And you don't even have to have trouble. Have a sit down with your friends. Do a one-on-one with them. Take them out. Have lunch. We have to get to the stage where friendship is beyond just posting on social media and eating lunch.
Honestly.
No. I feel like I don't say so many things, and I feel like I might just start preaching. But there's just something about God not creating us in isolation and creating us because we need community, we need people. One thing my mom did for us growing up, which I found very instrumental, is do you remember my mom prays for our friends, like even in making friends?
Yes.
I'm like, woman, it's not that
Did
deep.
your mom ever used to pray like about even like roommates?
Yeah, we're in the same. Yeah, my mother the same
Girl, Literally.
It's like the mother, your mother too. I think so. So they're very, when my mom prays, and I say that, I see my mom's prayers when it comes to my friends.
Oh, yes.
So beyond all of the superficial things, are you praying for your friend? Are you being that friend? Are you a praying friend? Are you the kind of friend that when your friends have problems, they will run to? So this is beyond what the other person. And I think when you develop yourself such that you become such a good friend, you also attract like-minded.
Automatically.
Yes, there will be bad eggs, bad fish, but the overarching thing will be, this person is such a good person.
And even that bad friend can become a good friend because they came in contact with you.
You know, light explode.
It do.
So, and we said a lot of things today, right? We said a lot of things today. I'm angry that you guys draw emotions from me, but you've drawn emotions for us. But I just think that, one thing I always say is I want everyone to win on this journey called life.
My goodness.
And there's nothing more beautiful than winning with your friends around you, with your sisters, with your brothers. Yeah. Just joining you on that journey. So be that friend that you want.
Exactly.
Be that friend you want to attract.
Thank you very much.
Be that friend you want to attract. Yeah. And
On a side note, I wanted to say something. It's okay to look at your friends and wish that you were where they were, because again, I feel like we make light of people's emotions so much so that people are now hiding how they feel. I think where the problem comes is when you can't talk about it. For me, I used to talk about my friends that, this thing you are enjoying now is prayer points for me, but I know that God would do it. So what that did was it basically made there was no room for me to ever get jealous, because they would now speak to me about their job, what they were going through, the good and the bad, and I'm like, I'm here taking everything. I don't want that part. So it dialed down what could have been so big in my mind, because what happens is your mind will constantly make things bigger than they seem and they are.
I agree.
The moment you talk about it. That thing is about sin thrives in secrecy. It's not just sin in terms of action. Even when your mind begins to go to like thoughts and dark places, when you keep it to yourself, it actually becomes a thing. That's where envy and jealousy begins to build. Yeah. And all of a sudden, you will not know how, but you see this person, she's your friend, she's thriving, but it's just irritating you. You feel like, I deserve it, and, maybe even before her, or she shouldn't get it. But the moment you talk about it, you useless it automatically.
I agree.
So I just want to say, for everybody out there feeling like, am I now a bad person for feeling like
this way?
No. It's okay to see something good and want it, and even feel like you deserve it, because you do. What would be bad is to believe that the person who has it doesn't deserve it. So I can say it's great that you have it. In fact, I lambano, meaning that my girl, we're about to get into a message. Be like, you look at that good thing and I'm like, this thing you have is God is my neighborhood. Because you have it, I'm automatically entitled to also get it. That's the mentality that we should have towards wanting or desiring things, as opposed to not loving that the other person has it. Push yourself towards it and be like a magnet. If she has it,
attract.
Yes. I mean, you're in my circle. There's no reason you got this.
Yes, God is my neighbor.
Yeah, and I'll quickly give an example. So I have this set of friends. We call ourselves Squad. We're 5, and early last year, about 2 of them had gotten a job, and one had a job that was not so great. I know I was like, more, and it was hard because all of us want this nice job and money. And what had happened was we all set a timeline for ourselves and told us before this time, God is going to answer all of us. And literally happened at the end of last year.
Glory!
Every single one of us, like, good job, good money. The other person got another job. It happened simply because we're not going to hate ourselves. Yeah, to come for all of us, every single one of us.
I'm so sad that we've run out of time. Like, I really wanted to say something, but I think one thing that speaks to what you said, please, I'm going to advertise my book. I've not said this since this episode. So no,
that's a crime.
When we talk about it, not on this episode.
Kofo is an author. I just had to put it out there. Kofo is an author.
No, but yes. So for those that have read the book, what Boma said, if you remember, there's a chapter called "You Are a Star," and everything that Boma just said, sort of like that was you like brought to life exactly. You brought to life what I wrote in that book. So if you've not, go and read it. And if you have the book and you've not read it, go to that particular chapter.
But I've not reached that chapter.
Go to that. It's called "You Are a Star." All right. So and just to end this is the last thing we're saying. After this have finished, and and that just simply means that the fact that your star isn't shining the brightest in your friendship circle at the moment doesn't mean that you're less of a star. Peace out.
It's not fair, because because I want to say something.
Peace out, that's it.
But I have to say this thing. I'm so sorry. So the story of Joseph in the Bible tells us that he dreamed.
I was going to say it, but I didn't want to say it.
You have to.
Okay, let me just say it. Let me say it. Let me say it. Let me say it.
Oh, yeah, say it.
Just so it's Boma ended.
Stop it.
Someone said something that I found very profound.
Yeah.
Right? For
Very
Christians, powerful. For Christians that follow us on our podcast, you'll be conversant with the story of Joseph. But something that we always think that we are light in the story, Joseph had a dream, his brothers were jealous. But one thing that we neglect to mention, which is brothers too neglected to put their mind on. If you remember Joseph's first or second dream, where he said that, there were stars in the sky. The second one. There were stars in the sky, but his own was shining the brightest.
He didn't even know it was his own.
Right, or the one was shining the brightest. And his brothers got jealous because they're like, how dare this one stars? He's telling us that he'll be a god. What they forgot was that he said all of them were stars.
And they were all shining.
The only difference was his was shining the brightest, but it did not make them less of stars in their own right.
And who was to say that their stars, if they are taking that transition, was not even going to beat his own?
And guess what? Another thing I should add was that, remember, what lineage did Jesus come from? From the tribe of Judah. Judah was Joseph's brother.
Come on.
At the end of the day, Jesus doesn't come from Joseph. If only Judah had known, if only they had known.
They wouldn't have crucified Jesus.
That's what came to my mind. We are ending.
We're having like a moment. Bye, guys. We're going to put our captions down. Please, please, please. Most importantly, we want you to send us stories.
Yeah.
We actually want to hear your stories. We want you guys to engage. Send us DMs.
And we want to increase our followership.
Are you a market woman?
I'm a market woman. I'm a market woman. Hey, they are very marketing.
It's not entering.
Please.
Stop your
Please. I'm going to go.
End it. We're done. We have nothing else to say to this episode. Goodbye. We love you all. See you next week or whenever else. Jesus. Thank you for listening to today's episode of Flow with KB. You should definitely catch up on all our previous episodes on Jamit, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow us on all our social media platforms. On Instagram, it's Flow with KNB, and on Twitter, it's Flow with KB. If you enjoyed this episode, please share with friends and family.